Welcome to this edition of ARTV News. I'm Tony Beauvais. In today's show, ARTV News, Pride and Prejudice, well, sort of, TarraWarra Museum of Art, the Australian Ballet's Romeo and Juliet, Dick Gross talks to playwright Ray Mooney in Writer's Corner, and a new book for business in ARTV magazine. Melbourne is about to get a whole lot brighter this winter. The National Gallery of Victoria is set to play host to a spectacular new exhibition tracing the evolution, glamour and unmatched craftsmanship of Cartier. Featuring nearly 400 extraordinary jewels, gems and historic objects, the showcase spans from the turn of the 20th century right through to the Maison's most contemporary creations. This is a rare behind-the-scenes look at the creative process, featuring archival design drawings and photographs, alongside breathtaking pieces worn by royalty and Hollywood legends alike. Created by the V&A in London in partnership with the NGV, this exclusive Melbourne event is housed in a stunning space designed by acclaimed Dutch practices Studio Sabine Marcellus and Cloud. Whether you're an art lover or a jewellery devotee, it's a dazzling deep dive into the history of style. See the website for further details. Here is a reminder that Lightscape is back at the Botanic Gardens. Enjoy the magic under the stars with mulled wine, hot chocolate and delicious treats. Whether it's a family adventure, a romantic evening, or a unique escape into nature after dark, Lightscape is an experience that you will never forget. Move beneath towering, glowing, floral arches that reach toward the heavens. Stand in awe before a vast, shimmering lawn of light that ripples like a neon ocean. Here, the boundary between art and nature disappears. Lose yourself in a world of captivating soundscapes where every pathway glows with purpose. You'll encounter breathtaking, large-scale artworks and interactive experiences that respond to your presence. Every step is a new chord in a symphony of colour and music, transforming the familiar gardens into a dreamscape beneath the night sky. Whether it's your first visit or a returning tradition, Lightscape 2026 promises an unforgettable night under the stars. One of the most beloved romantic comedies is heading to the Melbourne stage. And it's going to be big. Pretty Woman. The musical is officially coming to the Regent Theatre this July, bringing all the glamour, charm and iconic moments of the Hollywood classic to life. This production is a powerhouse of talent, featuring direction and choreography by two-time Tony Award winner Jerry Mitchell, and an electrifying original score by Grammy winners Bryan Adams and Jim Vallance. It's the story you know, Vivian and Edward, two unlikely soulmates finding their way but reimagined with a high-energy theatrical flair that's guaranteed to lift your spirits. Whether you're a fan of the original film or new to this romantic journey, it's set to be a sensational night out that will light up your heart. Tickets are on sale now, so don't miss your chance to experience the magic of this smash hit musical live on stage. Imagine planning your wedding but then suddenly facing your estranged father's funeral, only for him to return as a singing ghost who won't stop belting out a 90s love song. This is the hilarious, haunting premise of Mr. Big, aka Tay-Tay, a trans woman and that tiring tune. A bold new play by award-winning playwright Dax Carne Hanrahan. The story follows Diana, a trans Filipino woman navigating the cultural collision of 1990s Manila and modern-day Melbourne. Presented by the Teo Teo Collective, this darkly comedic work masterfully blends music and absurdity to explore the themes of grief, gender, and the heavy weight of immigrant duty. It's a heartfelt, chaotic, and deeply relatable look at the ghosts of our past, and how they eventually force us to confront the truth. Don't miss this uniquely Filipino-Australian story of reconciliation and resilience. An award-winning West End comedy hit is officially heading to the stage, bringing a riotous, pop-fueled twist to a classic 19th century romance. Fresh off winning the Laurence Olivier Award for Best Comedy, this unique adaptation turns the traditional period drama completely on its head. The entire story is told by just 5 female actors playing the below-stairs servants, who frantically swap costumes to play every single character. Expect high energy, live musical instruments, and plenty of irreverent physical comedy. But what really sets this production apart is its soundtrack, blending classic literature with a hilarious karaoke mix of iconic pop anthems that will have you singing along. Critics are calling it smart, laugh-out-loud funny, and a joyful reinvention that perfectly balances brilliant silliness with sincere romance. It is a fierce, funny, and utterly audacious theatrical event. Melbourne is transforming into a city of illusion this winter as the Southern Hemisphere's largest celebration of illusion and mystery returns.
The Melbourne Magic Festival is back, attracting top-tier illusionists and magic fans from across Australia and around the globe for a spectacular 14-day takeover. This isn't just your standard arts festival. Audiences will have the rare opportunity to witness mind-bending spectacles right before their eyes, from jaw-dropping levitations and hypnosis to stunning demonstrations of pure sleight of hand and mind reading. Whether you're looking for an interactive family day out, hands-on workshops to learn a few tricks yourself, or an adults-only evening of hilarious mind-blowing illusions, there is truly something on the lineup for everyone. During the day, families can dive into kid-friendly shows and masterclasses before grabbing lunch in the city. By night, the atmosphere shifts, welcoming friends and couples to gather at the festival's Magic Central Bar for a drink, before diving into a night of world-class theatrical magic. What makes this massive event even more extraordinary is its history and sheer grit. The festival was created to give local artists a dedicated stage to express themselves in a grand theatrical environment. It receives no grants, government subsidies, or financial assistance of any kind, meaning this world-class winter hub is completely produced and kept alive solely by the passion of the performers themselves. See the website for details.
TarraWarra's system release presents 10 artists from Aotearoa, New Zealand, Australia and Mexico who reach into the chaos of global precarity to create new systems of order across a wide range of media.
This year's TarraWarra International is an exhibition which responds to recent global conditions that we've all experienced. For this exhibition, I wanted to think about system release rather than system collapse. So rather than dwelling on or diagnosing what's wrong with the world, I wanted to look underneath this precarious pact that has held us together for the past 70 years and see other systems of order that we may not have heard, other ways of thinking and ways of being that might help form future templates that we might build into a new way of being in the future. Jose de Villa is an extraordinary artist from Guadalajara in Mexico. In this work entitled Joint Effort, we've assembled a series of objects that are both man-made and naturally occurring, and these objects are held together in a precarious balance by one strap. The work really illustrates Newtonian physics and the concept of action and reaction, and how it is always these equal forces coming together in perfect equilibrium that creates balance and harmony. So Marco Fucinato is one of Australia's leading artists. This selection of works that we've got behind us, these 4 silk screens, come from a series that he created as part of his Venice Biennial exhibition from 2022.
This work actually happened as a result of another form of research or another question I was asking. The question I was asking was, what does the world weigh after all we have built and destroyed? Does it weigh more? Does it weigh less? Does it weigh the same?
I hope my work helps remind people that we're part of much bigger dynamic systems than we can actually see or recognise in our daily life. The work entangles the living, the non-living, the physical and the non-physical, and the tangible and spiritual realms.
I've been focusing on this idea of finding new images of the Anthropocene and Capitalocene, thinking about the idea of the co-becoming with nature, indeterminacy, queering, and finding agency within the midst of this tech oligarchy-controlled world that we're kind of living in.
Within my practice, I'm interested in expanding timescales between the Big Bang and today and filling in gaps in our collective knowledge with these new stories and imagined scenarios that make up bodies of work. And I realised these works primarily in the medium of sculpture.
Oysters are this incredible species that teaches us resilience, and I guess, because they're marine ecosystem engineers, they literally can teach us new ways to shape and form the way we approach things. I'm very inspired by them.
System release is about global systems collapsing, and I think in Te Ao Māori, in our world, you know, we survived a genocide, we survived the erasure of our language, of our cultural traditions, of our material culture. You know, the apocalypse has already happened to us.
The world is an overheated place, and I don't just mean climatically, politically. And in a sense, you know, I'm interested in what it might be like for a museum to somehow let the world in. And, you know, and this kind of presence of heat in this building is something that I've been thinking about.
E tohu manawa nui.
One of the world's most enduring and tragic love stories is set to sweep across the Australian stage. The Australian Ballet has announced the highly anticipated return of John Cranko's acclaimed production of Romeo and Juliet, bringing a majestic, deeply moving vision of Shakespeare's classic play to life for audiences nationwide. This celebrated masterpiece beautifully captures the fierce, violent clashes of Verona's rival families, sharply contrasted against the luminous flare of innocent young love. Driven by the immense power and raw emotion of Sergei Prokofiev's iconic dramatic score, Cranko's masterful choreography pushes the company's dancers to their absolute technical and emotional limits, binding performers and audiences together in a truly profound shared experience. Visually, the production is an absolute triumph. Jürgen Rose's opulent, richly detailed set and costume designs vividly conjure the dangerous pageantry of medieval Verona. The staging highlights a brilliant contrast between the heavy, rigid splendour of the older aristocratic generation and the light, billowing fabrics worn by the carefree teenage lovers. Whether you're a lifelong ballet devotee returning to a beloved tradition or experiencing the magic of a narrative dance for the very first time, this legendary production offers an unforgettable journey. From the euphoric first flush of romance to its devastatingly heartbreaking finale, it is a must-see theatrical event that will stay with you long after the final curtain falls. See the website for all the details. Ray Mooney is an Australian novelist, screenwriter and playwright. He spoke with Dick Ross about his work.
Well, Ray Mooney, how you going?
I'm going really well, thank you. Very well.
Okay, so you've written a lot in various different genres, but
yes,
one of the things that seems to draw it all together is crime and punishment. You've spent time in jail.
Yeah.
And you're very open about that.
Oh, not a problem.
How you are going to present these issues about retribution, revenge, reform and the like in future writing. You spent 7 years in jail.
Okay, yeah, good. Okay, look, I spent 7.5 in Pentridge and then 9 months to a year in Long Bay. So all up, probably a little bit over 8. An amazing place, really, because the Pentridge that I knew, and I went there in 1968, came out in 75.
Yeah.
It was probably, comparatively speaking, a good prison.
I get that. I get that.
Depending upon where you were in the prison.
I just want to get a handle about how you wrote about this stuff and how you used writing to both bring the issue out, but also it probably was a bit therapeutic.
I never saw it as therapeutic. I always saw it as an ends to a means. In A Division, we had a prisoners' theatre group, Players Anonymous, where you could put on plays twice a year and invited audiences would be invited in. And they were, sometimes the audience was 250 to 300 people. They were enormous audiences.
Wow.
Well, in my time, I always used to, they were always putting on plays like Rusty Bugles and Starlag 17 and Irma Ladouce and all these lovely, good theatre entertainment pieces. But
anyway, so you've written a lot of plays.
A lot of plays, not all to do with prison, not all to do with crime and punishment either. But I've written musicals, I've written comedies. But
in the musicals, did you write the musical?
I never wrote the music of. I wrote a play called Sideshow Alley, where I brought in really good people to do music. I've worked with Joe Dolce and Nunya Watari on.
Oh, Joe Dolce.
we did a play called Panyalamara that was a musical. I've done quite a few musicals in my time. Because I went, like, and this is a bit self-serving, but you wouldn't have known this, but it makes a little bit of sense. When I got out of prison in 75, I was in the first ever intake of the VCA drama students.
Is that right?
Yeah, I did the 3-year drama course. So that's what transferred me into theatre for a long time.
They did that one about the play about the Northern Territory.
Well, Poor Fellow My Country.
Yeah, were you in that?
Yeah, that was.
Is that right?
I was the first. The first ever intake was called Company 78, and Peter Royston had set it up.
Yeah, Peter Royston.
And we decided to do a big project that everyone was going to be involved in. So it was Xavier Herbert's book, Poor Fellow My Country, and we took it, and everyone there's 30 of us in the company, and each of us took a chapter, and we designed the chapter into a theatre production. And the end result, I don't know if you saw it or not, but
I did see it.
Oh, well, then I didn't act in it, but I was the sort of editor, bringing it all together. I was there as a director, theatre director, not an actor. So, so Poor Fellow My Country was the first thing we did. That was in 1977, by the way, so that was the first thing they ever did.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Same here, mate. Same to you too. All the best.
Hi, James.
Hey, Eva, how are you today?
I'm really well, and you've just brought out a new book.
Yes, I have. Very
How exciting. So it's called 101 Golden Rules of Business.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been in business a long time.
I certainly have. Longer than I'd like to admit, to be honest.
So is 101 Golden Rules of Business your first book?
Actually, it's not. In 2003, I was still young and healthy, and I wrote a book on, think of it like yoga, but it was a martial arts book. It was an exercise book to show you martial arts.
Wow, so you do martial arts as well as business?
When I was younger, I was actually going to be a professional athlete, but I had some injuries, but I still had a passion for health and fitness.
I could see some similarities there between martial arts and business. So I could imagine that one perspective would help the other.
Read Sun Tzu's Art of War. Business leaders read these things too.
Yes.
Being disciplined, I think, is something that you need in business. And the reason you need to be disciplined, because you need to take a long-term vision in business. Short successes are amazing. Being able to pivot and move in different directions is essential. But the businesses that really succeed have a long-term goal, a long-term vision, and those businesses are the ones that ultimately win in the end.
Okay. So what prompted you to write this book?
Well, as I was saying before, mainly a lot of the same questions came up in my coaching, but I wanted to get some of these ideas down for myself as well, because I can't remember everything. Sometimes I might get things back to front myself.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this book is different to other business guides?
Totally different.
How?
It's totally different. I've never seen anything like this. This book is a very old school book. Every single book you will see now, they will take one point and make it so in depth that people get lost in the noise. You need to separate the message from the noise.
Mm-hmm.
This book, I deliberately made it to put on your desktop. The problem with the books that are noise, and they may have a lot of great information, don't get me wrong, but do you want to sit there and read something like this for an hour to find where you should be looking and what you should be heading? Mm-hmm. This is a book of signposts. This is a book of lived experience. And remember, these rules have been around forever. I didn't create all this stuff. These have been here there forever because they work.
Yes. So when you say this is a book to have in your desktop, you're actually talking a physical desktop, aren't you? You're not talking about
on your work desk. I designed it a certain size, a certain format that you can go, oh, okay, that's great.
Excellent.
You don't have to go to a big bookshelf and go, oh, this is how to do project management.
So tell me what rules you think are most important in business.
What you need at the time will be the most important one to you. However, I have like a base of, say, 30 basic things. The very biggest golden rule is the real golden rule, the one from the Bible. Do unto others. Don't screw your business partners over. Yes, you have to be savvy in business, but you want to be someone that people will work with 6 months down the track, 6 years down the track. I think it's really important. Yes, be savvy. You can even be ruthless when you have to, but have that integrity. People will deal with you 5 years down the road. And one of the great benefits, the universe will reward you for being a good person, and they might have $1 million piece of business to throw your way, or you can help them with a project. That's how it works. And I don't mean to sound overly spiritual, but I think whatever you emanate out, even psychologically, it comes back to you from other people.
Mm-hmm. Now, we all know that businesses fail. What are some of the dangers that point towards businesses doing so?
Great question. One of the biggest reasons businesses fail, there's a few, but the biggest one is cash flow. People don't have aside enough cash. And then what happens is they think everything's going to be rosy, right? And then they have a few bad months and they can't meet payroll. They can't pay their bills. They overcapitalise in things that they are paying off. They don't have diversity of liquidity of things if they have bad patches. They need to be able to get their hands on $1 million tomorrow. And a lot of companies don't think like that because they think everything's going to be status quo. And most of these businesses that fail within the first 2 years.
What would you like this book to achieve?
I'd just like it to give especially new leaders or new entrepreneurs a flag post or a signpost on what to do. It's in a simple format. They're very digestible chapters. There's no secret fancy graph words and it was not full of acronyms. It's full of real stuff, and it's going to save them years. And that's what I want to do. I want to save these people years in doing things the right way. And one of the things I do tell people all the time, there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. I want to see a real shift in the government's directive of how they treat businesses, especially small to medium. When I say small to medium, I'm talking up to, say, 30 million, right? Because these are going to be the backbone that are going to save us. These are where the innovations are going to come from. Innovations don't always come from a multi-billion-dollar company. They come from some guy in his garage who invents something and has that $30 million company. And then it becomes bigger. But I really want to see us manufacture. I want to see fuel efficiencies and things like that. We can do biofuel. We have all the land in Australia. We can do biofuel even.
And so people using this book might be able to make the steps forward that they need to in order to become successful.
It's worked for years. I've used it for decades, these principles. And like people know, I've had many high-level jobs and run $1 million companies. And
you've got the experience. Is there anything you'd like to add, James?
I really want people to check this book out. That's not from a sales perspective. I think it may change the way some people see business. Yes, there's that dog-eat-dog mentality in business where we don't want to be taken advantage of. You waste a lot of time having battles with other business people. It's energy and resource draining. Be the better you, and this book shows you the principles to lay down, the foundations to build those big towers in an ethical way, and it doesn't detract from you being a good business person. So I want people to get that message, not just the tips on how to be successful. Successful it will make you, that's without a doubt, because it's proven. It's been proven forever, not just for me. Lots of people have done these steps and laid these foundations. I really want people just to know how business should be done.
Well, it sounds like a very timely release of a book of well-worn and well-versed steps to take to run a good business. Well done, James. Thank you.
Thanks, Eva. Thanks for having me on.
If you'd like to get in touch with us and let us know about any live event coming up in the Inner Melbourne region in the next month, just shoot us an email at info@artv.com.au. We'll see you next month.